Hello Archivists, welcome to our channel, or welcome back to our channel if you've been here before. We are Six-Sided Scribes. My name is Jugal and this is our good friend Marcus. He's been kind enough to join us for today's 1500 point Tempest of War match between the Warpmeld Pack Thousand Suns and the Drukhari. Yeah, we thought today would be a good time to bring out the Warpmeld Pack because it's going to be obsolete in a little while. And Marcus here has been wanting to bring his Drukhari out for a while, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well,
It's more of an 8th ed army, but gonna be trying my best today.
okay. Well, it looks pretty murderous, and you will see that when you actually get into the list. So, if you like what we do and you like our previous content, do like and subscribe. It does help us get the news out there of our channel. And remember to hit the notification bell, so you'll be notified whenever we put up a new video or just a random talk that we do. With that, let's get into the armies. So today for the Thousand Suns, I'm bringing the Warpmeld Pack, the Thousand Suns army of renown that very few people ever take. Today I'm bringing an Arks of Omen detachment with the focus on the troop slot. I'm bringing an Exalted Sorcerer on disc. Now he is my Warlord. I paid the points to make him a Dilettante, so he has 2 relics. So I've given him the Athenaean scrolls, which everyone knows and loves, and I've given him the Relic disc, who for the life of me I will not risk pronouncing on camera. But this disc essentially lets me advance and cast psychic powers, and mainly it lets me consolidate after combat in any direction I want up to 6 inches. So I can get into combat, hit you with my stick, and then consolidate out of combat before you get a chance to hit me back. My second HQ is an Exalted Sorcerer on foot. Now he has a Prosperine khopesh, a unit I've always loved, but I've never had a chance to take him out. Now he is a Rehati, and yes, there's nothing else particularly special about him. Moving on, I've got an Infernal Master. Now he has the 2 Infernal packs we all love. The one that gives me a die reroll, and the other one gives me +1 strength on a ranged weapon. Now I don't think I'm going to get much use out of it, but let's see how it goes. To the main category of this Arks of Omen detachment is my troops. I'm bringing 3 10-man squads of Tzaangors. 2 of them have chainswords and bolt pistols, so I'm mostly going to get some shooting out of them, while the other one has the Tzaangor blades. Now essentially their profiles are the same, but the Tzaangor blades do give me another pip of AP, so I'm hoping to get some utility out of that. My next lot of troops is a 6-man squad of Flamer Rubrics. I had to make the points up somewhere, and I do love my Flamers. They let me move, advance, and still flame. I've paid the points to make them Ardent Automatas, so they can do an action and still shoot, but it being a Tempest of War, we never know what's going to come up where. Now in my elite slot, I've brought a Tzaangor Shaman. He has the Warpmeld Pack specific relic called the Diamond Distortion. This lets me give a Tzaangor or Spawn unit a 4-up invul in the command phase. And then I'm rounding off the elite slot with a 10-man squad of Scarabaccults. They have all the bells and whistles, so they have the Hellfire missiles and the Soul Reaper cannons. Now they're essentially going to be my killing unit to take down whatever vehicles or basically any tanks that my opponent chooses to bring. In my fast attacks, I've brought 3 squads of Tzaangor Enlightened. Now I'm hoping to just move them around, kite, get some objectives, and maybe just target characters with them. Because with the Warpmeld Pack, I have a stratagem that lets me make their weapons AP3. So I should be able to snipe some characters out with them. And to round it off, I'm also bringing a squad of Spawn. So it's a 5-man squad of Chaos Spawn. I'm hoping to spend the 1 CP pre-game stratagem that lets me make them Strength 5, Toughness 5. Because again, it's a Warpmeld Pack specific. But unfortunately, I'm starting this game with only 2 CP, and I need to be very careful of the choices I make moving forward. So that is my 1500 points of Warpmeld Pack. I'm only starting with 12 Cabal points, so that restricts my rituals quite a bit. And I'm only starting at 2 CP, so this is going to be a very interesting game. Now with that, let's see what Marcus has for us.
Hi, so today I'm bringing a Real Space Raid detachment of Drukhari. So that means that I'm going to be getting a Witch Cult, a Cabal, and a Homunculus Coven, all in one raid. It's going to be an Arks of Omen detachment with troops. Okay, so for HQs today, I'm bringing 4. I'm bringing my Warlord, an Archon, who has Ancient Evil, a Splinter Pistol, and a Power Sword. Not the most competitive choice, but in order to get a little bit more into my army, I've chosen to make them pretty bare bones, just paying for the Warlord trait. I'm also bringing a Succubus with an Agonizer and Power Glaive. I'm upgrading the Agonizer to be the Triptych Whip, which is a relic that I'm paying for. I have a bare bones Homunculus today. He looks a little bit like Urian Rakarth, but he's laying low today. And I've also got Drazar, who is a bit of a menace this edition. One of the few really powerful things in my army today. But we're going to see how it goes. So for troops, which is my compulsory unit for this Ark of Omen detachment, I'm bringing 2 5-man units of Cabalite Warriors. Each is armed the same with 4 Splinter Rifles and 1 Blaster. I'm also bringing a 5-man squad of Witches. The Sergeant has a Blast Pistol, and I'm going to be rolling 2 random combat drugs for them. Lastly, I'm bringing an 8-man squad of Raks with an Ossifactor on the Sergeant. For my elites, I'm bringing 2 squads of 5-man Incubi. Bare bones, they don't get any upgrades, so they're not going to have any upgrades. But that's my elites. And for my fast attack, I'm going to be bringing 1 unit of 3 Reavers, again with random combat drugs, and 1 Blaster in the squad. So for heavy support, I'm bringing 2 1-man squad of Talos. They have Drukhari Haywire Cannons, as well as Chain Flails and Macro Scalpels. Lastly, I'm bringing 5 dedicated transports. These are going to be armed with 2 Splinter Cannons each, which is going to bring a world of hurt to my opponent with no vehicles. These are going to all be with the Cabal of the Poison Tongue, so they're going to be wounding on 3s instead of 4s with their poison weapons. The reason why I call this an 8th edition army is because these are a menace. They're really going to be able to go across the table and give me a lot of map control, but their shooting isn't quite as good as the Raiders, so we'll see how they do today. With that, that's the end of my list. I've got 1,500 points on the nose. I'm starting with 4 CP, and I'll see you in the game.
So Archivists, I thought I'll take a moment before the game actually started to talk you through our terrain, see how the board looks. So starting over here. Now we're counting this as dense, so if you're on it, you can shoot through it, or if you're drawing line of sight through it, it's dense. The scaffolding, like in most of our normal games, is dense to shoot through, but the centerpiece is obscuring. The barricades, well, are counted as barricades, the pipes are barricades. So you get a light cover and a heavy cover against it. Now this is just pure line of sight blocking. If we are touching it, we'll count it as light cover, but we'll have to play that by ear. Moving over here, this is a crater, so this is difficult ground. So if you're moving through it, you're -2 to move, advance, charge. Over to the center rock. Now this is just pure line of sight blocking. This is another crater, so once again, difficult ground. And as you can see, the map starts to mirror itself on the other side. So this is again line of sight blocking and light cover if you're touching it. We've got barricades along the pipes here, so they will give you light cover and heavy cover. Scaffolding counts as dense cover if you're shooting through it, while the container itself is obscuring. We've got armored containers. Now these are just pure line of sight blocking, scalable, and exposed if you're standing on top of it. And to finish it off, we've got another piece of dense cover in the corner over here. So again, if you're shooting through it, you're -1 to hit, and you can pass through it. So with that, let's get on to the deployment. All right, here we are with the mission itself. Now we have randomized the mission and drew the deployment. So we're going with the corner deployment of search and destroy. So as you can see, we've already got our deployment zones marked off, and we will come to explain to you what the objectives are. Now, for the primary mission, we've drawn direct assault. So it's a hold 1, hold 2, and hold more objective. But you also get two victory points if you take a new objective or objective you weren't holding, and 3 objectives if you take a new objective and you successfully killed a unit off another objective. So that's one way you can get secondaries there. Now, one other thing to remember is the mission rule is Warp Storm Lightning. So if you're within range of an objective marker, you roll a d6 for every unit. On a 1, you suffer a mortal wound. So it's going to be dangerous for both of us. I've got 1 wound Tzaangors and you've got 1 wound everything.
Everything.
Yeah. We've decided to talk you through our objective placing first, because it starts with the youngest, and clearly Marcus here has got to put down his first objective. So you want to tell us through where you put your first objective?
For the most part, I tried to put my objectives in more of a contested areas. So I put down my first objective as a home objective in my deployment zone behind the line of sight terrain.
Okay.
And then I went for some closer to your deployment, just to try and bring that fight to you.
All right.
Try and make it easier for my army to get back or get into the close combat that
Okay.
I'm hoping to get into.
Oh, yeah, you're trying to bait me out in a melee. Okay. All right. I'm more than happy to oblige. I put down my first objective over here. Now I'm hoping to just keep it there because I'm going to have a unit on it at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that I can just be around the barricade, try to draw heavy cover from it.
Mm-hmm.
And my other drop was the one in the center here, because I'm hoping that I can try to pre-game move there. But once again, trying to draw the barricade cover. Because if I'm just holding the objective around it and trying to get light cover, heavy cover, and I'll take whatever cover I can against your swords and your poison. I have deployed in this corner over here. Now, I'm trying to stay cognizant of the fact that I can pre-game move. So every unit that I've deployed is either offensive or defensive, but I'm able to move them back into cover if I go second, or if I go first, I can capitalize on pre-game movement. So my Enlightenment can go for objectives. This Tzaangor unit can replace this one over the objective. The only ones I've had to play carefully with are the Scarabaculs and the Rubrics, because they do not get the pre-game move. So I'm hoping I can just teleport the Terminators wherever I need them to be. And the Rubrics is a bit of a risky move. I can't pre-game move them and they're out on the cover. But if I go first, I can advance them and get them on the objective with a steady 8. So I just need a 2-inch advance. Alright, besides that, I have no plan of where this is going, what the Tempest is going to draw, what objectives. I'm kind of just covering my bases everywhere. Marcus, how have you deployed?
I've gone for a big death ball over here. My thinking is you can't score points if you have no models.
Yeah, that is how it works.
Put my Archon, Drazar, 2 squads of Incubi, Witches, and Succubus all in this area. So, God help me if you get Assassinate on your first secondaries.
Oh boy.
I've also put my hard to kill stuff on my home objective. For my drugs, I actually rolled +1 toughness, +2 movement for my Reavers. So the hope is that I can see, if I'm not going first, I can see where you're moving and just try and counter your movement.
All right, that's clever.
I have my Talos and my long range fire over here, looking at padding out these 2 objectives, seeing what I can do with that.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to make me want to go everywhere now, aren't you?
Just because this is rolled off camera, I have to roll for my witches as well. They got +1 strength, +1 to hit, ballistic skill, and +1 leadership.
Okay. Yes, because we wouldn't want you running tomorrow now, would we?
With the small squads, I'm hoping that's not a problem, but I do have a little bit more CP. Who knows? I might be okay.
Yeah. Yes, because I am starting the game at 1 CP because I spent 1 CP on my Chaos Spawn for my Warpmeld Pack Stratagem. So now they're strength 6, toughness 6. So that's going to be really helpful against your T3.
We'll see how it goes.
Alrighty, I think with that, let's roll off to see who goes first and then draw our objectives, shall we?
Yep.
Let's see who goes first, shall we? 3, 4. Oh,
I get
you're
to go
going first.
Ooh, okay.
Um,
I'm happy about this. I feel like I need to capitalize and shoot some stuff off the table.
I'm not. I need to pull everything back. We'll be back after we've done some movement and we've drawn our objectives.
So at the end of my movement, as a summary, I drew for my secondaries, grind them down, kill more than my opponent by the end of their battle turn.
That should be easily done.
No, you were able to move back, so I don't know how confident I am in that.
Yeah.
I also drew no retreat, no surrender. Essentially, don't lose a leadership test, which I'm pretty confident that I can get.
Yeah, I think you also can't fall back, so...
Yeah, but at the same time, this is achieved at the end of my opponent's...
Oh, so if I tie you down...
Well, I can't fall back, but actually no, that should be fine. As long as I'm not losing morale, I should be okay. Everything's still in their transports. I also got Hold the Line, which I was going to keep, but when I realized that I've had a mass exodus from my deployment zone, and my opponent can teleport into my deployment zone, I'm not super confident in that, in getting that. So I spent a command point to re-roll, and I ended up getting Capture the Enemy Outpost. So that's a bit of a write-off. I don't think that I'm going to be able to take your home objective, just because of the Tzaangors and everything else.
I have faith in you. I have faith in you.
Okay.
Just before you get into your movement with your rest of the phase, let me tell the viewers back home that in my pre-game move, I just fled and hid. I just pulled everything back as much as I can, and I'm hoping I don't lose too much. Please don't kill me too fast.
It's going to be a short game. It's either I kill everything or you kill everything.
All right. You want to talk us through your movement phase?
Easy. So, starting off, I wanted to try and hold as many objectives as I can, hoping that you can't push me off all of them, so that I hold more at the during your turn. I took my close combat venoms and put them over here, trying to work around this cover, trying to put Drazar back in case you can get some shooting off and destroy my venoms. I was able to move pretty far with my Reavers, thanks to their +2 move. I didn't choose to advance them because I'm trying to get, hoping to shoot them off the board. We'll see how that goes.
Rubrics. They're my
They're out there, they're looking tasty. It's yum 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 for my Dark City slaves. So I advanced with both of my Taloses, getting a 5 and a 4, not moving their whole advance roll, just to try and work again with that cover. Very squishy army, even the sort of heavier units aren't that super strong. And lastly, my shooty venoms are over here, again looking at the rubrics, trying to see if I can get some
I knew
off the board.
I knew I shouldn't have painted them that well. Now let's move on to your shooting phase. Let's see how many of my units you murderize.
I'm hopefully at least one.
Okay, so what do you have for us?
I'll start with the squads inside of the Venom. So
Who are they targeting?
they're going to be targeting the rubrics. So I'll go with the one on the crates first. So that's within rapid fire range. So I'm going to start with the splinter rifles first. So hitting on 3s. And because they're poison tongue, wounding on 3s.
So making 2 of armor saves and all this dust saves me. Yes, they're good.
So that's the blaster in the same squad. It's 1 shot, assault 1, and hitting on 3s. Hits. It's strength 8,
So 2s.
so 2s to wound, and it's -4.
I don't get a save. Okay, roll your damage.
So that's 1.
Okay. Which one did I remove? Okay, this one's dead.
Going to rinse and repeat with the second venom. So the squad inside isn't in rapid fire range. I'm going to be starting with the splinter rifles. So again, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s.
2 up armors. They're good.
Easy. And then the blaster inside doesn't hit. So both venoms are going to be shooting into the rubrics because I can't draw. I don't think that they're going to be able to shoot anything else.
Okay.
And this is going to be 3s and 3s again.
Okay.
So to hit, wound.
4 up armors. Leave me on 1 unit left. I will CP reroll one of these. Let me just see if I can make one. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go for the Reavers next. They've got 2 splinter rifles and 1 blaster.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start with the splinter rifles. So they did an advance, so it's going to be 3s and then 4s with their poison. So 1 save, no minuses.
Okay, so 2 up armor. I'm good.
Okay, and lastly, the blaster fails to hit. Easy. So I'm going to shoot with this venom into the spawn, just trying to get some last hits in my shooting phase in my round.
Okay.
So I'm not in rapid fire range, so this is going to be 3 shots hitting on 3s, and then wounding on 3s for poison tongue.
No. So leaves 1 on 2 wounds.
So not in rapid fire range. This venom's going to be shooting into these enlightened Tzaangor. So 3 shots hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s.
All right. So is that it for your shooting phase?
That's it for my shooting phase. It for my turn. So we'll see how we go for next round.
Okay. Here we are with Thousand Suns turn 1. So it's been a bit of quite a lot of movement here and a lot of debating and a couple of psych out tactics from my enemy too.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm good. I just want some flesh slaves. It's okay.
All right. So for my secondaries, I drew no retreat, no surrender, which means I can't fall back from a combat, which I don't think my opponent's going to give me a chance. I can't flee to morale, which is a serious risk with Tzaangors because I'm running 10-man squads and they only have leadership 7, 8. And I can't abandon an objective. So again, I've had to move around to be careful of that. Next, I've drawn Hold the Line, which again, I need to make sure my opponent doesn't come within 6 inches of my deployment zone. And with Drukhari speed, that's not going to happen. So I spent 1 CP to redraw that. And I drew Grind Them Down. Same as my opponent. So I need to kill more than he gets to kill me. And with Drazar on the table, I question that. And for my third, I drew Area Denial. Now this requires me to keep a unit outside a certain range from the center of the objective. But it also means I can't score it on the first turn, and it's told me to redraw, which I did for no prisoners. Which means I need to kill about 30 wounds worth of mortals to score my 5 victory points for this. Which I think is going to be difficult. I think it means almost tabling my opponent. But with that being said, let's move on to movement. So I've moved my rubrics up here 6 inches. Yeah, they're going to try to flame that, maybe make a charge there. Because I don't know, I doubt with just 2 I can kill. I've had to reposition a lot of my Tzaangors. So 1 squad is moved over here. While the other 2 from the far end have advanced 4 and 6 from here to end up here and here respectively. I'm hoping to draw some lines and shoot from wherever they are. The spawn have moved up 7 inches right up to here, which lets me make a 7-inch charge to the barricade. I'm hoping that I can make that charge because my Infernal Master's die reroll pack failed. I rolled a 2. To cover some ground, I've advanced the Tzaangors over here. They roll a 2 on the advance, so it just gets around the difficult ground and the pipe. So I'm using them to screen out some characters. My other Tzaangors have moved up over here. They've advanced, but they've just ended up behind the barricade. So I've got 2 squads of Tzaangors holding that and looking out sir for my Infernal Master. My Scarab Occults haven't moved because I'm hoping to just teleport them out with my Kabbalistic Ritual. With that, let's get into my Psychic phase. Now, the mission rule for the game is Warp Lightning Storm, so I need to roll a d6 for every unit that's within range of an objective marker. My opponent did it in his last turn and he rolled nothing but 5s and 6s.
We're not good at Psychic, but we're not getting hit by Psychic Storms at the moment.
For the one near the barricade with the Brayhorns. Alright, for the one that's not with the Brayhorns. Oh, good God. Luckily, I think that's the end for the Torment. Nope, not yet, my Infernal Master. Okay, fine. He doesn't take a mortal wound. So, on to my Psychic phase. I'm going to start with my Scarab Occults. I'm going to try to Duplicity them out there. But I'm not running the risk, so I'm just spending my 8 Cabal points to make it auto-pass. After that little teleport, my Scarab Occults will land over here. And that's their 1 cast that they have. And I'm hoping to just punch from behind there. Hopefully make some charges too. Now moving on to my Infernal Master. He's going to put Glamour onto the Enlightened over here. But remember, I do not get my +1 to cast anymore. I'm just going to take those perils. Moving on to my Exalted Sorcerer over here. He's going to put Weaver of Fate onto the Tzaangors by the barricade. So, passes with a 7. So they have a 4-up invul now. In my command phase, I put the Diamond of Distortions 4-up invul on the spawn. So they have a 4-up invul too. Yeah, he's not doing anything else. The Rubrics. So I'm going to spend the last of my 4 Cabal points to have them do a Psychic action to try to give me 1 CP. Let me see if I get it. Moving on to my Exalted Sorcerer. Now I'm going to use the Athenaean Scrolls on the Tzeentch's Firestorm and target them at the... I'll target them at the bikes back there. I need above a 9, hopefully.
Yep.
His second power will have to be a Smite, which will go into the Talos. So here's a Smite, D3. 2 mortals into your Talos. You have a 5.
So insensible to pain, I get a 5-up feel no pain, and so I get 1.
And here we are with 1000 Suns shooting phase. Now there isn't much to go here, but we'll be quick about it. Now I'm going to shoot this squad of Enlightened and this squad of Enlightened into the bikes back here. Now they both have the same profile, so I'm going to be rolling the shots together because they don't get any rerolls, any buffs. Always hitting on 2s, unmodified 2 is always successful. Now these are wounding you on 4s.
So I make...
That's 1 damage each.
1, and so that is the squad.
Now, moving on to the third squad over here. They're going to put their 3 shots into the transport back here, the Venom.
Yep.
So 3 shots, always hitting on 2s, and wounding on, not that, so 1 at AP -1.
At AP -1 means it goes onto the invulnerable save, 5 up. No,
1 damage. These rubrics will flame the venom back here. 2d6 shots, wounding you on 5s.
So 5 up and vulnerable. Don't make it. So
1 damage.
1 damage.
Now moving on, I'm moving on to my Scarab Occult Terminators. I will put the Soul Reaper cannons into the Venoms. I'll split the fire, literally down the middle. Half of them will attack one Talos, the other half will attack the other one. And I will be spending 2 CP for +1 to wound for Wrath of the Wronged. 2 shots on the Hellfire Missiles, hitting on 3s. So wounding you on 2s.
So 3 up save goes to a 5 up. Don't make it. So how much damage is that?
D6.
And so I get to ignore them on 5s and 6s. So 2 damage.
Okay. So 5 shots from the Soul Reaper cannons, hitting on 3s.
My Taluses have power from pain, which means that battle round 1 they get a 6 up and vulnerable. So 5s and 6s to ignore.
So now from the Stormbolters, hitting on 3s. So wounding on 5s.
So 5s. 5s and 6s to ignore. 1 damage each.
Yep.
I think that's that dead. On a 6, I explode.
Now from the other 5 Terminators into the other Talos doing the same.
Yep.
The Hellfire Missiles, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s.
So 5 ups. I'm going to command point re-roll 1.
3 damage.
So 5s and 6s to ignore. 2 damage go through.
Now let's do the Soul Reapers. 5 shots, hitting on 3s, 4s.
3 will go to the 6 up invulnerable. Do I ignore it? Yes.
Okay, now the Storm Bolters, hitting on 3s.
5 ups. I've already spent my reroll, so I really need this to work. So 2 more go through.
Now charges. Let's move on to the charge phase.
Okay.
The Chaos Spawn will try to make a 7-inch charge to the barricade over here.
Yep.
Okay, 7-inch charge on the Chaos Spawn. Now for these Rubrics, charging the Venom, they need a 6. Let's see if I get a 6. Get with an 8.
So I'll declare an Overwatch for that Venom.
Okay.
So I'm down to 3 CP. So that'll be rapid fire 6 shots. For nothing.
Now here we are with the Thousand Suns fight phase. I'm going to start fight with the Chaos Spawn who have piled in there. I'm hoping to just kill that Talos straight off. Let's see what I get for the Chaos Spawn mutation, shall we? So 3. So that lets me reroll the wound roll against you. Okay, so that's 10d3 for the 4 of 5. The Chaos Spawn hitting on 4s. 4s, but rerolling fails because of the mutation. Ooh!
So AP -2 means a 5 up save. 5 up feel no pain. And I'm not saving enough of them. Does he explode on a 6? Yes!
Okay. Right. Okay, so that leaves my 1 Chaos Spawn left on 1 wound. So I'll start with the Rubrics back here. So 1 of the Fists, 2 shots, hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s, nothing.
Yep.
And now with the Stave, hitting on 3s. No, 3s. So that's 2 at AP -1.
AP -1 means 5 up. Both saved.
Okay. Now your vehicle can punch back at me.
With 3 attacks. 3s.
-1 damage, Mauler's Dust kicks in, so I will be taking on a 3 up armor. So that was Thousand Suns turn 1. It was surprisingly better than I thought it would go.
Fragile. Fragile.
Well, let's see, your power pain keep kicking in now, make you even worse.
Yeah.
So, for my scoring, I was able to score a kill count of 20 and no prisoners, so another 10 should give me no prisoners if I choose to keep that around. Grind them down, I have successfully denied my opponent his grind because I've killed 3 this turn, but if he kills 4 the next turn, he'll successfully deny me.
For my end, I got no retreat, no surrender, and that is it. Not doing too well, hopefully.
Okay, so that'll give you 5 victory points for that. Now on to Drukhari turn 2.
So we're at turn 2, or my turn 2. So with that, I've made quite an offensive for Jugs' deployment zone.
Okay.
Thinking that I might have a chance of getting capture enemy outpost. I've also drew Bring It Down this round, and Jugs has chosen this character.
Yes, my Exalted Sorcerer on foot back here. And I can see he's already got lines drawn up at him.
For the most part, I've given up this objective. If I manage to kill it with the transport, I should have the objective for now. But we'll see how it goes. I've given up the Talos' old objective. It's dead to me now. So with Power from Pain, meaning that I can advance and charge, I advanced all of my close combat units, getting 6s for both incubi squads, managing to try and deal some damage here, as well as a 2 and a 1 for Drazah. They should be able to make some easy charges. Who knows? We'll see. I also brought these Venoms up here just to try and thin down some of these targets.
The Warp Lightnings are still going on. It's for every unit on every objective. So we need to roll off for them. For my rubrics back here. Ooh. Yet again, I was the only one who lost one model.
And important too, because now there's only one person there. That's going to mean some decisions. So we're going to go for that venom into that character. So I do, okay. So it has 2 cannons. So 6 shots into that character, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. Wounding.
Quite sure he's got a 5-up in one because almost probably crap. Makes it
easy. Okay, so I'm going to go for that venom into that
rubric?
lone rubric.
okay.
It's got 6 shots with the cannon, hitting on 3s.
4-ups. So 1 CP for a reroll. Fails.
Okay.
Oh, he still dies.
Great. The squad inside realistically can't get rid of these Tzaangors, so I'm going to go for the Enlightened Tzaangors. The Splinter Rifles will be 2 shots each, 8 shots total, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s because they are Cabal of the Poison Tongue. Well, the Blaster from the same squad is going to go into the last Tzaangor.
Okay.
Hitting on a 3, so wounding on a 2. Goes through, no save, so d6 damage. If I get a 2, it's dead. Hey, all we need. All we need. All right, that is juicy. All right. With that, it's just on this flank. It's just that squad, the squad inside that venom left. With no better targets, I'm gonna go for the Tzaangor. The HQ Tzaangor. So this is going to be hitting on 3s, and then it's going to be 3s to win because Cabal of the Poison Tongue.
Alrighty, so you killed my shaman off.
Okay, my blaster would have been going to the same squad, so that shot's wasted, but that's fine. So I'm going to declare that this venom shoots into this Tzaangor squad, Tzaangor and Leiden squad, hitting on 3s, 3s. So 3 at -1, 2 damage.
So it goes right through. I don't have any saves, so that's
great. This venom into these guys, 3s. So that's 5 saves. -1.
Goes right through. No save.
2 damage. With all my shooting done, I'm going to go into charges. I will declare these guys into your Tzaangors, Enlightened Tzaangors first.
Okay.
So 6 is going to be in for these guys. This succubus into the same squad.
No.
3 is not going to do it. She didn't make it in. I'm choosing not to reroll because I'd prefer to use the reroll on Drazar if he doesn't make it into this squad. So to start off with, I'm just going to go for... well, let's go to Drazar now because you can't
I can't overwatch.
7 makes it in fine. I was paranoid for nothing. And then my incubi are also going to try and go for the charge.
Yeah.
If they go, I need a minimum of
3.
3? Oh,
Yep.
2 there. But if I want to go around,
You need a 6.
I need a 6. So I need a minimum of 3. We're hoping for a 6 or higher. We get a 9. I'm now rolling for your leadership. So incubi and Drazar have a rule where if I roll higher than your leadership, you fight last. So I've got 2 shots on this squad because Drazar and the incubi both have that rule. So my first attempt, I need higher than 7. So my second attempt. So I'm also using the same rule for that incubi squad. So
I think they need a 9, but yeah, doesn't matter. It goes off.
because I was successful with my tormentors, we've decided to do all of Drazar's attacks at once. So 2s. 6s would be an additional AP, but because they've got a 4-up invuln, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so 13 4-ups.
So, wasn't the best move to fight with Drazar twice. Technically, he would go Drazar, Incubi, Drazar again, but because we did Drazar all at once, these guys are left out in the open. My opponent doesn't have enough CP to actually make sure that they don't run, so they're probably going to be running.
Yeah, leadership 7, you killed 8. So 1. It's not happening.
So it doesn't make much of a difference. Let's go on to the Venom. So the Venom has 3 attacks, hitting on not that. These guys are going to be these incubi are going to be going into these Enlightened Tzaangor. I'm using the same profile. I'm doing the two-handed strike with the Clavex, the Sergeant. So I can roll them all at the same time. They're not in range of Drazar, so this is going to be 2s followed by 3s. So
what's the AP?
it is -3, 2 damage.
That's dead.
Awesome.
Alrighty, bye-bye Tzaangor Enlightened. My Exalted Sorcerer here will fight back into you. So I'm making 5 attacks with his khopesh, his power sword. So hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s.
So goes to a 6-up and vulnerable for power from pain.
These 2 Tzaangors here will attack Drazar. Let's see what that does. 3s, wounding on 4s, 2 wounds. AP -1.
AP -1, so this is a 3-up save.
Alrighty, and that's it for your turn. Let me check morale on these guys. If I roll a 1, they're good. 1 runs and attrition. Nope, so 1 guy runs away. And I officially fail, no retreat, no surrender.
Technically I failed grind them down at the end of Jugs' last turn, but we decided to keep it in play. So if he manages to kill more than me in his following turn, I'll discard it.
Okay, and you successfully
denied
me grind this turn, so I will lose mine.
Yep. Bring it down. I didn't score it at the end of the turn, so that's going to be gone. And capture enemy outpost. I also didn't get. So I'll be whole new cards next turn. So now we're going to come back with Jugs' turn 2.
Alright, here we are with Thousand Suns turn 2. This has been a pretty rough match so far. I'm trying to claw back some points back here. Speaking of points, let's come to my secondaries. So because I failed grind them down, I've had to redraw that. I had to put that away. And since I failed no retreat, no surrender as well, because my Tzaangors fled, I've had to redraw that one as well. So I've now drawn new objectives that are Blood and Guts and Assassination. So at the start of last turn, I started the game holding 2 objectives. So I got 10 for my primaries. I was holding this one and this one. Now, as you can see in the movement, I've spread out everywhere. My Chaos Spawn have moved around the hill and are about 4 inches away from the Venom and 5 inches from the Succubus if they need to make that. My Scarab Occults over here have just kind of shimmied around, so I can draw line of sight both at the Venom and at the Homunculi behind the line of sight blocking.
The racks.
The racks, thank you. My first goal is still going to try to teleport them out of there with the Psychic Power, but I've only got 9 Cabal points and I want to use them elsewhere. So that may not be an option. I have to roll for that. I've left the Exalted Sorcerer in combat. So I'm hoping to just kill him with a smite in the shooting in the psychic phase and then maybe charge whatever comes out or shoot it. The Tzaangor have sort of in a circle around this squad over here while my Exalted Sorcerer has moved up over here. I moved my Infernal Master over here and I'm going to try to use the Kabbalistic Ritual on it to try to resurrect a lot of Tzaangors around me, but we just never know how that's going to go. And that's where we are. Now let's get on to the psychic phase because that's what we're here for. Let's start with the Exalted Sorcerer on disc, my Warlord. He will cast Doombolt into the Succubus because it's the closest. That goes off. That's a flat 3 mortal wounds into the Succubus. So I'm going to cast Tzeentch's Firestorm from the Exalted Sorcerer into the squad over here. Now this is Athenaean scroll, so it's a 3d6, pick the highest. It's not a peril, so I'll take that. And I'll spend 1 CP So I'm using my last CP from this turn to cast a smite into him again.
Okay.
Goes off with a 6. Come on. 2 mortal wounds.
That's the unit.
So that will satisfy Assassinate right there. The other Exalted Sorcerer here will cast a smite into the Transport, the Venom.
Need a 6.
Get off with a 7. So that's just dead, because there's only 1 wound left.
Does it explode? Nope. So there's 5 inside, so any ones, they die getting out. 1 dies getting out.
He will cast a 4-up Invul onto the Tzaangor over here. Let's see how it goes. So the Infernal Master is going to cast Glamour of Tzeentch onto the Exalted Sorcerer here. I'm going to spend 6 Cabal points for the Bray change, which is a Kabbalistic ritual unique to the Warpmeld Pack. So basically I cast 3d6, and if the result is greater than 10, then I can resurrect 2d3 Tzaangors for every Tzaangor unit around me within 9 inches. Okay, come on, give me higher than 10.
Yes!
Well, the power still goes off, so he gets glamoured, but I'm not resurrecting units here.
Oh, that's so good.
Now moving on to the Terminators. I'm going to try to teleport them with Sorcerer's Facade. I need a natural 8 since I don't get a +1 to cast anymore. Yes, that's a 9. So they will be teleported. I will reposition them in a minute, but I think that's the end of my Psychic phase. Before we continue on the shooting phase, I'll shoot the Psychic Storm for the Infernal Master here. For the one-man Tzaangor unit. Bye-bye.
So going for the Venom first.
So here we are at the tail end of the Psychic phase. Now this one transport did blow up. He lost 1 mortal, and he placed them out here, trying to bait me into a 2-inch charge there. Let's see if that happens. I've repositioned my Terminators from here all the way over here. Now they're quite spoiled for choice in shooting. Maybe I can kill something. Hopefully I can kill something. And yes, unfortunately my Psychic power to resurrect mortals failed, so I can't really do anything. So let's move on to the shooting phase. And we'll start with the Tzaangor over here, putting their bolt pistols into the squad of Incubi.
Yep.
The squad of Incubi. Let's reroll, that's cocked. 4s.
So 3-up save.
He's got a little bolt pistol he put into here.
Okay.
So hitting on 2s. Because I'm strength
3. Yep.
I'm strength 4.
Saves it.
Okay, of course he did. These 2 have got 2 bolt pistols. I'll just shoot it into this squad of Incubi. Hitting on 4s, no rerolls. 1 hit. 1 wound. Yeah.
Yep. Saves it.
He's got a bolt pistol. Hitting on 2s. I'll put it into this squad of Incubi here. Hitting on... not that. He's got a bolt pistol that he'll put into the squad of Incubi.
Yep.
Hitting on 2s. Now moving on to the Scarab Occult Terminators. So I will be putting the 2 Hellfire Missile Racks into this squad of Venom, into this Venom. 3 Stormbolters into the Witches back here. And everything else into that Venom.
So I'm going to declare Lightning Fast on the squad of Witches.
I've got the Hellfire Missiles hitting the Venom Crawler back here. So hitting on 4s.
Strength 8, 3s.
Nope, nothing. 3 Stormbolters that are hitting the Witches back there.
Lightning Fast. So
hitting on 4s. Wounding on 3s.
Yep. So they have a 6-up invulnerable save. I need to save 1 of these for the squad. And I saved 3.
It's 6-up invul, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so everything else into the other Venom here. Let's start with the Soul Reaper cannons. Hitting on 4s.
Yep.
Nothing.
Wait, no you're not. You're winning me on 3s. 5-up invulnerable save. In the traded count. So 2 go through, damage?
1 damage each.
Okay.
Now for the rest of the Stormbolters into the same Venom. Hitting on 4s, wounding on 5s. Wounding on 5s. AP 2, so another 2 damage.
Another 2 damage. Down to 2.
That wasn't as killy as I wanted it to be, but hopefully the charge phase will fix that. We'll be back after we made some charges. So here we are with the charge phase. Pretty much the entire Thousand Suns army charged. So the Exalted Sorcerer made a charge here, Tzaangors charged here, but his leadership chicanery did make me fight last, so they will fight last. The Exalted Infernal Master will fight, he charged from across the barricade. The squad charged here, and again they will be fighting last. Exalted Sorcerer charged into the Venom here. Hopefully he can do something. My Spawn made a 7-inch charge, so they got in over here. While my Terminators made a marvelous exactly 9-inch charge, so they're in there, but I'll pile in when I get into combat. And yes, that's it. That's basically my entire army. We did realize that after all my killing in the last turn, I have scored no prisoners. And assassination was scored when I killed the succubus. So hopefully if I can kill 3 units in this fight phase, I will score blood and guts as well. So here we are, starting with the Scarabaculls in the fight phase. This is just the Prosperine khopeshes that I will be attacking. So there's 27 attacks, hitting on 3s, so wounding on 2s. 4s, sorry.
So 5 6s. So I've got a 6-up invulnerable for power from pain, and I need 2 of these to be saved. On a 6, it blows up. It blows up. Does the Ark... Okay, on a 1, the Archon dies disembarking.
Oh! Yes, I'll take it.
That's fair. I've been rolling very hard. Okay. We don't see the Archon come out.
Now, check your Witch. Does the Witch die from your explode?
Ooh.
I think it's just one mortal wound.
Yeah, no, it's one
right?
mortal wound.
So the Witch died as well.
Yeah. So that's that flank done.
Okay.
And on that note, I'm going to spend 2 CP to interrupt.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going for the Clavex into the Infernal Master along with 2 of the Incubi. The other 2 are going to be going into the chickens. Clavex into the Infernal Master, hitting on 2s.
Makes it.
Makes it. So now this is the Claves, so I need a 2.
5 ups. Nope, he's dead.
Okay. And lastly is the chickens. So these will be 2s.
I actually forgot in my last fight phase also, they have an army-wide 5 up in one.
Okay. 5 ups.
Nope, 5 dead. So let's continue on with the fight here, since they charged and nothing else eligible can fight here. So these 5 Tzaangors will fight back, hitting on 4s, rolling 1s because the Exalted Sorcerer over there. Wounding on 3s.
3 up saves. 1 goes through.
Let's continue on with the Exalted Sorcerer over here, fighting into the Cabalites.
I'm spending my last CP to lightning fast, and this is the first time I've used that in the fight phase.
But can you use it in the fight phase or it's only shooting?
So it's actually a stratagem that goes for shooting or fight phase.
Alrighty. So that's 5 attacks hitting on 3s now.
Alright, 2 die.
Alright, let's continue on with the Exalted Sorcerer into the Venom here. That's
2 go through.
2d3 damage.
That's the thinger.
Okay,
does
that's the
it
Venom dead.
explode on a 6? Nope.
Because he's got the Relic disc, he can consolidate 6 inches in any direction he wants. So I will consolidate him 6 inches this way.
As far from Drazar as possible.
And the Chaos Spawn will activate, but they're gonna need to kill, so they'll just pile in and consolidate. So it's safe to say that these Tzaangors are not gonna survive, so they're just dead. So on the Cabalites here, they're taking a leadership test for them. So on a 6, they will run.
No.
Nope.
All good.
My Tzaangors, leadership 7, I lost 5, so on a 3 they run. Attrition for the rest, 1s and 2s. What's another one? So at the end of the Thousand Suns turn, I've already killed 2 units in melee, so I don't quite get blood and guts. I was hoping to get more. My opponent did kill more overall in this battle run, so he does get grind. I failed to deny him. But I have successfully got no prisoners and assassinate in the meantime as well. So hopefully I think it's a pretty close game, but let's see how it goes now, because I think a lot of things of mine are going to die.
Yep.
Alrighty, with that, on to Drukhari turn 3.
Welcome back to my turn 3. We're now at round 3, so for Power from Pain that means that I have +1 to hit rolls and melee. I have drawn behind enemy lines and secure no man's land. So I'm getting to these 2 objectives in no man's land. I've fallen back with this squad.
Cabalites.
Just the Cabalites, just to get further into Jugs's deployment zone.
Yeah, there's almost nothing I can do to stop him, because I think you've lined up your venoms just to kill Exalted Sorcerer back there.
Bit of a shooting range. I have also during my command phase, I also gained a CP. I immediately spent it so that these guys can fall back and charge. I'm also looking at these spawn and just hoping to kill 1 more unit. It's going to be a bit of a sacrificial turn because I think that the Terminators will probably be able to shoot whatever I put in there. But just trying to make it so that Jugs has less models to play with.
Yep.
On to my shooting phase. We've had the psychic phase joke long enough. I'm going to start with the things that kind of have no choice. So this
Venom.
This venom is going to shoot into your
Exalted Sorcerer. Okay.
Exalted Sorcerer. So it's going to hit on 3s.
Make 1.
And then rinse and repeat for the other venom in the backfield. So that venom will also be going into the Exalted Sorcerer. So hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s.
4 ups. I'm good.
We're going to go for that Cabalite squad into the Exalted Sorcerer. So 4 shots from the Splinter rifles. Wounding on 3s.
I'm good.
And then the Blaster hitting on 3. I can't re-roll that. I have no CP. That's not good. Oh, that was not the play. Okay. After that, we're going into the charging phase. So these guys will charge back into the chickens. Drazar's going to be going into him.
The other
Incubi squad.
Yep, they're there. 5.
Yeah.
Alright. We just line up the models and be back to you in the fight phase.
So just to explain, we're going to be doing the Tormentor's rule for Drazar and the Incubi. I get 2 shots, but essentially I have to make over a 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope. 9. Very close. Need to roll hot.
10.
10.
Yes.
Make it on the second attempt. We're going to be doing all of Drazar's attacks again. This time I'm making sure that I can actually pile in. So I'm going to be hitting on 2s and wounding on 3s because of his special rule to Incubi. And we're just going to be going into these Chaos Spawn. So 2s. Oh, okay. No point to 6s. So now we're going to go for the Incubi into the spawn.
Okay, 8 5 ups. Nope, that's the last spawn dead.
Okay.
Are
Do you want to
sad? Because you look like despondent. Despondent.
It's just safe to assume the Tzaangors are not going to survive this, so I'm going to pull them out. And yeah, that's that. Do you get anything for your secondaries?
So I miss out on Bring It Down. Very upsetting. I feel like I should have gotten that. I get behind enemy lines, scored in my turn. And Secure No Man's Land will be at the end of my turn.
Okay.
So I get 2, so that's 10. After that, we killed a lot. I feel like that was a pretty successful turn. I'm a little bit scared of this flank, but I'm
Oh,
controlling
you
a
should
lot
be.
of the table.
You should be. Alrighty.
And with that, on to Dukes.
Here we are with Thousand Suns turn 3. Now it has been a bit of a turn with a lot of dilemmas. But to begin with, I redrew my secondaries. I got Defense Stronghold and Capture Enemy Outpost, both of which I think are untenable. So I've decided to spend a CP to redraw new orders, and I replaced Capture Enemy Outpost with Deploy Teleport Homers, which is just about as bad. Moving on to movement phase, I've had my Exalted Sorcerer move up 6 inches right over here. I'm going to try to smite, charge, just try to kill that venom, maybe take the objective and get my Defense Stronghold. My Exalted Sorcerer has moved up over here so that I can maybe Doombolt, cast some psychic powers and kill before my Terminators shoot, charge and kill even more. And yes, that's essentially it because I've only got 3 units left on the board. Let's get into the psychic phase, shall we? We're going to start with the Scarab Occult Terminators. They're going to cast a smite into the Incubi there. Goes off with a 5. Come on, give me 3. 2 mortal wounds. The Exalted Sorcerer is going to cast Doombolt, has to go into the Incubi. Goes off with an 11, so that's flat 3 mortal wounds. And I will spend 4 Cabal points for D3 additional, so that'll kill him there.
Okay.
So now the Exalted Sorcerer is going to cast Tzeentch's Firestorm into Drazar. So this is with the Athenaean Scrolls. Nope, no mortal wounds. The Exalted Sorcerer over here is going to cast Smite into the Venom. D3. Next, he's going to cast Glamour onto himself. Get it off at 12. Perils. I'll spend my 1 CP to ignore Perils. So he's now Glamoured, so he's -1 to hit on himself. Okay, let's get to shooting, shall we? The Exalted Sorcerer will throw his pistol into the Venom. Hitting on 2s, hits, wounding on 5s. Nope. The Exalted Sorcerer over here will put his bolt pistol into Drazar. 2s. So I'm wounding on 4s. Not a wound. The Scarab Occult Terminators, the Soul Reaper Cannons are going to go into the Venom. The Hellfire Missiles also into the Venom. I'm going to put 4 Stormbolters into the Incubi here and 4 Stormbolters into Drazar.
Okay. I'm going to declare Lightning Fast with my last CP on that squad.
Okay. So let's start with the Hellfire Missiles into the Venom. Hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s because my Exalted Sorcerer is still within 6 inches. 3s.
2 go through.
D3 damage each. That's 3 damage. Does he blow up?
Does he blow up?
Nope. Okay, so I can't charge to try to get that home field objective there anymore. And the Soul Reapers are wasted. So these are the 4 Stormbolters that are going into the Incubi. So hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s.
Okay, so 3 5-ups. I save 1. I can't reroll it. That's squad.
Now these are the remaining Stormbolters that are going into Drazar. So hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Oh, that was a 1. That was a hit. I don't remember. That was
That was also a hit.
Screw it. Alrighty.
5 4-ups for Invulnerable.
So let's move on to charges. The Scarab Occult will charge Drazar. The Exalted Sorcerer from here will try to make a 6-inch charge towards Scablites. He's in. Just to round it off, I'm going to have my Exalted Sorcerer charge into Drazar as well. He needs a 2. He's not failing that charge. Get rid of the 7. Alrighty. We'll be back after we move some models and at the start of the fight phase. So here we are, the Thousand Suns fight phase. I've moved some charges and let's start in the corner with the Exalted Sorcerer over here. My opponent failed his leadership test with Drazar over there, so I'm going to fight first, and you don't have the CP to interrupt, do you?
No.
Ready. So with the Exalted Sorcerer here, into the Cablites. Hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s.
The 5-up save.
That's so
2
close.
Go through, yeah. Pretty good. Pretty
All
good.
right.
No dice.
So these Cabalites are dead, and I'll officially get Blood and Guts.
Nice.
Now moving on to the other Exalted Sorcerer into Drazah. So 5 hits, hitting on 2s, 3s.
4 up and vulnerable.
That's
1 goes through.
D3 damage, 1 damage.
1 damage.
And now for the 5 khopeshes that are within engagement range of Drazah. That is even less. Okay, 3 at AP minus 3.
4 up and vulnerable.
That's 2
1
damage.
Goes through. Goes down to. It's
1.
2 damage originally. Goes down to 1 damage.
Okay. And
left.
the Sergeant, hitting on 3s, rolling 1s, 3 hits, wounding on 3s, 2 wounds at AP minus 1.
4 up and vulnerable.
That's
Makes 1.
D3 if I roll. That's 3.
Yeah, there we go. That's him.
Oh, that was close. That was down to the wire.
Does he explode? No.
Alrighty. Alrighty, that was a bit of a gamble.
Paid off.
Oh, so I still hold that objective. And I do get Blood and Guts, but I don't get anything else. So with that, let's move on to Drukhari turn 4.
So for my command phase, I gained a CP and immediately spent it again. I originally had overwhelming firepower. The issue is that I don't think I've got enough shooting, so I replaced it with Storm Hostile Objective, something that I was umming and ahhing about, but I just don't think I can do. So I also picked up Deploy Teleport Homer. Don't think I can do it. And this is my 3rd turn with Bring It Down. So fingers crossed we can do it this turn. At the start of my turn, I'm holding 3 objectives. I've shimmied a little bit just to try and get some more more shots into that
Exalted Sorcerer.
Exalted Sorcerer. He's worth a lot of points. That's my turn. Honestly, I need to kill him. Onto shooting. So it's going to be 6 shots for the
Venom.
from the Venom with double splinter cannons. So this is going to be 4s followed by 3s. 3s to wound.
4 ups either way. I'm good. I live on 1 wound.
So the Cabalites, it's going to be 4 shots with their rifles. 4s because you're -1. Wounding on 3s because they're poison tongue. 3s to wound.
Oh, I will spend my 1 CP this turn to reroll that just to annoy you. And I'm good.
Alright, that's fine. Blaster. It's a 4 to hit. 2 to wound?
Go for it. 4 up and well, 50-50 chance. And I live.
I'm done.
So that's it for your turn.
That's my turn. I can't get this. I can't bring it down. I've had it for 3 turns. Oh god.
We'll be back once we regain our sanities. Alright, here we are with 1,000 Suns turn 4. Now this is going to be a very swingy one, but we've made some plans in here. So I've drawn out some new secondaries. I drew behind enemy lines, bring it down, and I had raised the banners, but I spent my CP to replace that with investigate sites. Now, my opponent has chosen the Venom as his bring it down because it's the one with the highest amount of wounds. So I'm going to try to kill that, and yeah, that's it. In the movement phase, I've had my Exalted Sorcerer advance a mighty 1, so he's ended up here. My other Exalted Sorcerer made a mighty 6 on his advance, and he's positioned here. From here, he can draw line of sight at the Venom, so I might be able to Tzeentch his Firestorm off the board. And he should be within Doombolt range of the squad as well. So hopefully, between all of that, I can kill these units. The Scarabacles have moved. I'm going to try to teleport them so I can get behind enemy lines. But that's all comes down to one dice roll. So, yeah. With that, let's get into the Psychic phase, shall we? So let's start with the Mighty Exalted Sorcerer over here. I'm going to do Doombolt onto them. Gets off with a 7, so that's 3 mortal wounds into the Cabalites. I'm going to cast his Tzeentch's Firestorm onto the Venom back here. So it's a 3d6, pick the highest. That's 2 mortal wounds right there. He's dead.
Yep.
Okay, so that gets me bring it down. No point in explosions. Now this guy is going to cast a smite into the Cabalites. Hopefully that can do something there, maybe kill them. That fails. I will spend about 5 Cabal points to take that up 1, so it goes and pass on a 5. 3 mortal wounds, so that's the Cabalites dead. And now for the ultimate and dreaded Sorcerer's Facade. I need an 8 on this, and I don't get my +1 to cast. Come on, go off. Oh, that's a 6. I don't have a CP reroll for that, but that's okay. So, yes, I've got 5 for Bring It Down. Shooting, there's nothing to shoot because your Arks are all hidden. I think that's it for the game here. We'll just quickly talk through turn 5 and we'll come back to you with the final score.
Yeah.
Hello Archivists! We've tallied up the scores and Drukhari won by the swing of 1 turn of primaries. So you got 78 to my 53. How was the game for you?
It was good. It was very long. By the end, it was a rough slog. A lot of units died. We ended up having to just talk it out because we have all of about 6 units on the table.
Yeah. 2 of yours and almost all of my Terminators. You just ignored my Terminators for most of the game, didn't you?
Honestly, at a certain point, I just didn't have anything to deal with them. Terminators, in my experience, you need something that can really get rid of them in 1 turn. Otherwise, they're going to win a battle of attrition.
True.
And after I lost my Archon Drazar, which is like, I didn't really have an answer to them.
True. Well, your killing off all of my Tzaangors also just hurt. I mean, I couldn't play the objective game beyond that. But yeah. Well, thank you for coming on to the channel. Thank you for bringing a beautifully well painted army.
Thank you.
And yes, do remember to like and subscribe. We are going to keep putting out videos. Hopefully our next one's going to be a boarding action. Do you think that would interest you?
I'm definitely down for some boarding action. I'm really keen for that.
Alrighty. I think with that, we've been Six-Sided Scribe. I'm Jugal.
I'm Marcus.
And remember, let the stories roll.